It's time now for the Big Three. Today's topics: historic deal, knockout, and this week's must-read. So here comes the Big Three panel. MSNBC contributor Goldie Taylor, whose new column Breaking Black is featured on The Griot every Monday. MSNBC contributor and former Bush Cheney senior advisor Robert Traynham, and professor of political science at Hiram College, Jason Johnson. And with a welcome to all three of you veterans. Jason, to you first, as we've seen critics of the Iran deal here at home, including Republican Senator John Cornyn, who sent out this tweet, quote, "Amazing what White House will do to distract attention from Obamacare." Now, come on, how do you account for that?
You know, it's ridiculous, but not surprising. Oh my gosh, the Republicans hate something else that Barack Obama did. If you look at this president's foreign policy record over the last 6 months, ask the people in Syria, ask the people in Iran. Most people are happy that we have a president who seems to believe that things can be accomplished without using weapons. And plus, I think it's another example of where America's power has been enhanced by diplomacy. All Obama has to do now is reach into his coat pocket and everybody jumps. So getting this deal with Iran is an amazing accomplishment and something that people should be happy with, not criticizing.
Goldie, talk of this deal being a diversionary tactic. What's your reaction to that one?
You know, I could not agree with Jason more on this, and the idea that us pursuing peace in that region with a group like Iran, that is some kind of distraction, I think is a misnomer. The very notion that we are trying to put together and construct a deal that is both verifiable, it is short term, and it's 6 months in its duration. The idea that we're trying to put something like that together to distract people from domestic issues, you know, I think is fool's gold.
Okay, so I'm going to go to the Republican now, Robert. Your reaction to this tweet?
Well, I think we have to verify, we have to verify, we have to verify. Remember, this is a regime that said that the Holocaust did not exist. This is a regime that said that Israel should be nuked off the face of the earth. So, with all due respect, I think we need to take a look at what has been said, and we also need to take a look at their previous actions to make sure that we move forward in a very, very suspicious way. Look, I'll quote Secretary Kerry here and President Obama that we have every right to be suspicious here, that we have every right to raise our eyebrow, and that we have every right to verify this to make sure that this, in fact, is a real deal here. This is a regime that has continued to play cat and mouse over the last, not 10, not 15, but 20 years. So I think we need to step back here and praise this moment here for a few moments, but we need to verify this because this is a regime that has continued to play cat and mouse over the last 30 to 40 years.
Okay. Jason, on to our next topic, which is knockout. Take a listen to part of this report from WNBC.
Knockout is a violent game, a trend, whatever you want to call it, happening across the country. Here's how it works. Young people approach an unsuspecting victim and without words or warning, sucker punches them.
What is up with this? I mean, people and police are investigating these people just getting punched out across this country.
Yeah, this is part of the oversharing that always happens on the internet. People want to commit a crime and actually put it online so they can be caught. But I think the bigger issue is this. This is the same thing as polar bear hunting, where supposedly black teens attack white people, or rainbow parties from a couple of years ago, which were these teenage orgies. I am not convinced that these things are large criminal epidemics just yet. Just because you have a few, sociopathic thugs running around and putting things online, it doesn't mean that we have to worry about a new crime wave. That's my thought.
Goldie, in New Jersey this September, 2 teens were charged with killing a man engaging in this vicious crime. I mean, why do you think this is happening?
2 teens in New Jersey, a couple of teens in New York, but that does not an epidemic make. I think we've had a couple of viral videos that have, proliferated the internet, and I think that there are some law enforcement agencies who are, overreacting, over-responding. I remember living in a small neighborhood. I think they are. I think that there are, some incidences of random violence that have always happened in this country. I think they need to be investigated and prosecuted, and those kids had better hope that they don't run upon the wrong, unsuspecting person who might have a conceal and carry permit. And so I think that but I do think that this is an overreaction by law enforcement to actually put out additional patrols because I don't think this has happened as often as people are, portraying it to have been happening.
What about, Robert, the lawmakers who are looking to enact harsher penalties for this kind of behavior?
Alex, let me just step back for a second. Maybe I'm just the curmudgeon today. This is absolutely, positively despicable that these individuals are doing this to another individual. This is a hate crime. This is despicable. There should be outrage regardless of whether this is an isolated event in New Jersey or an isolated event in Alaska. Who cares? These are people out there. These are thugs that are literally beating up individuals, and this is despicable. This is America. And so my outrage here should be felt all around this country. And so for us to sit here and to say, oh, this is an isolated incident, that's a bunch of poppycock. I mean, this is ridiculous.
I think to divert
Crime
these
happens
kinds
every
of
day.
police it happens every day. I think to divert these kinds of additional police resources on something that is isolated like this, you know, is something that is patently wrong. And I think we need to focus on crimes that are just much more, you know, in terms of proliferating.
Well, that may be, but I have to agree with. I'm just appalled by this.
Sure,
These
it's
people put it on,
despicable. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's terrible. Okay, guys, the big three: catching cops in the act. In the act of what? Oh, it's one of the big three's must reads coming up.